So it's just been announced in the New Frontier News Network that the new DLC called Monarch Regins will be introduced next week Tuesday on the 5th or the 30th. They're going to release a trailer on the 5th or the 25th, and that's going to be this week Thursday. That's going to be showing all the new content and new map soon to be released for us. But anyways, the new Titan introduced that many people already know about but couldn't see much into it is called the Monarch Titan. He's I believe a mid-range Vanguard Titan that's kind of a salvage of the BT model from the single player. He's quite a special Titan considering the fact that its core is kind of a upgrade core, and it basically allows your Titan to basically upgrade itself through a number of, I don't know specifically the numbers, but I'm going to guess around 3 types. So he'll upgrade itself to become a bit more lethal and stronger on the battlefield. So he'll start off on, say for example, core 1. That's going to be his weakest and standard form. Then he'll upgrade himself when he gets better to core 2. That'll basically give him a bit more defensive capabilities, a bit more firepower. Then he'll upgrade himself to core 3. That I'm going to guess is his final core. That's going to be his more biggest and bestest core, the one's going to provide him more survivability against other Titans. Now take this as a grain of salt because there's not much information around this into how many forms he has, but I'm going to guess a max 3 is probably reasonable. Anything a bit more than that is kind of making him a bit too much on the battlefield and probably be a bit too OP if you know how to correctly use the Titan. Now we also got 2 new Prime Titans, that many people have been waiting for and already knew about, but just never knew when it's going to be released, and that is Ronin and Tone Prime. Now, one thing I can say is that Tone doesn't really look that great. He looks kind of odd, kind of like a milk carton to me, while Ronin kind of looks nice and slick. And he has kind of like these stencils, or these metal platings all around his body. Kind of looks like a samurai in a way, but a bit more slicker. And his sword has been updated and changed as well to look a bit more like I wouldn't say much of a samurai sword, but kind of like a cleaver in a way, but a bit more slimmed down. It's kind of hard to describe it, but I will put a link in the description to show you what it typically looks like. But honestly, Ronin Prime looks absolutely amazing, while Tone is debatable at times. We're also getting a new map called Relic, and this is an old map that was first introduced in Titanfall 1 that many players back then used to play non-stop. Well designed map that basically allows you to basically navigate around the map. It has a lot of basically hanging structure that allows you to coordinate your movements, and I'll say for pilot and Titan play it plays very well. Both sides have advantages and disadvantages. There'll be no side that'll be camped on. Everyone will basically meet in the middle, and most of the fights will either happen on the other side of the enemy team's spawn area. So they always have a chance of always fighting back and getting out of danger if it becomes a bit too heated. I also believe that there are going to be some zip lines in this map as well from some of the gameplay I've seen. So this basically means that if you're in a sticky situation and you are getting camped, you can use the zip lines to get out of danger as quickly as possible. They've also decided to update the Crash Site multiplayer map. Now, Crash Site had a lot of problems, and currently does have a lot of problems at the moment. The main problem we have with Crash Site is the fact that wall running in this game for this map is kind of non-existent. You can wall run, but you can't chain it very well, since most of the surfaces around the map isn't really connected to any type of structure, compared to, for example, Glitch that has a lot of structures nearby that allows you to chain your wall running from left, right and center, and chain it perfectly. Another problem we also have is the fact that all these bumps and nicks that we have when moving along the ground, sometimes you'll be caught up on rocks that aren't actually there, and this will get you killed if you're on a high street. Sometimes it puts you into a difficult situation where you can't get out, and sometimes it's not even your fault. Sometimes you'll just get hooked on something that, like I said, isn't actually there. Now Respawn has basically given their kind of quota on how they fix this. They basically gone through the map and they're basically smoothing out the area that has all these bumps and lumps and nicks and knacks everywhere. They've also decided to clean up some of the wall running to make it a bit more smoother for players' movements. And also, just to add on a bit more fun fact in the game, they also add in some zip lines, 8 in total for the map, to allow you to wall run and coordinate your zip lining all around the maps. So now you can wall run, Now you can move on the ground safely without getting hitched, and now you can also zip around the area using the zip lines, something that I say many people are quite happy with seeing, given that Crash Site was all about domination. The first person that could take out the team from either the top of the hill or bottom of the hill, and get the Titan dropping first was usually the winners. Now it should allow us a bit more freedom with actually navigating around the map and actually having a bit more fun and making it actually a viable map to play on. They've also decided to add in a new execution called Now You See Me. Now this is for the cloak, and not much is known about it, so the only way we're going to find out more information about this is for the Thursday trailer drop. At that point there, all I can guess is it could probably be something to do with the Predator from Alien vs Predator films. It could be something to do with that, or it could be something completely new. We'll just have to wait and see until then. They've also, lastly, decided to add in some new nose art, camos, and call signs into the store content that will be made available next week Tuesday. This is something I can't wait to see, because the last store content that was released, and I believe that was for the Glitch DLC, they released some really nice looking colours and some really nice and great looking call signs. However, at the same time, some of the colours, or should I say some of the camos, weren't really that great and quite debatable at times. But it's all through learning and improvement. These aren't for free. You have to pay for them, but they're not really guaranteed. You don't have to buy them. They're just there for fancier looks. I just hope this time they bring us something quite new and something quite good looking this time, just like they did for Glitch, and just like they did for Angel City, but not for Colony. As Colony's camos, nose art, and call signs were okay, but not the best I've noticed. Lastly, even though I said the new purchasable store content was going to be last, was one last thing to note is that when the DLC does drop, they're also going to allow us to play around with the Titans a bit more by introducing Titanfall back into the game. So now we'll be able to play with the Titans, preferably the new Primed and preferably the new Titan, in Titanfall to actually have some fun and actually play around with it and actually see how powerful both these Titans are. And at the same time, just to be a bit more generous, they're going to give us some double EXP for all game modes. So basically, if you don't want to play Titan Brawl and you want to play Attrition, but you want to earn double XP at the same time, that's all there for you. And this also basically increases the chance of us to also increase our generation ranks as quickly as possible for the double EXP runs out. But yeah, that's all the news I have for today. Until, I guess, on Thursday, until more news and update is released by the trailer. But honestly, I can't wait for this DLC to be released. It looked absolutely stunning, and the fact that we're getting a new Titan just brings me even more hope that hopefully this game will get more traction by other players. I hope they keep up the Titan play, add in some more new Titans, or at least add in the other two Titans that have been commonly talked about, or preferably also think about adding in some new pilots as well. The more the better, but as long as they're fun and very balanced, it should always be on Respawn's mind to at least, compensate us by adding in some more new content that isn't always that common for most of us. But anyway, enough talking for me. That's the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then leave a like, a comment and subscribe for more. If you didn't, then by all means leave a dislike. I understand, I know what to improve on in the nearby future. Once again, thank you all for watching. I do hope to see you all again soon.